News of the Day presents highlights from a memorable year in sports. Our cameras were on the spot to bring to your big theater screens action close-ups of the champions, the record breakers of the title holders of 1961. College basketball witnessed an all-Ohio final in the NCAA. Cincinnati scoring on undefeated Ohio State and holding a 2-point margin in the last 2 minutes. But the Buckeyes tied the score at 61 all. An extra period was necessary to decide the hot battle at Kansas City. Cincinnati drew ahead to beat Ohio State 70-65, one of basketball's major upsets. The durable auto speedsters raced the 50th anniversary 500 in Indianapolis. A pileup after 60 miles, and you saw it all through the camera's eye. The crowd thrilled to the roaring finish, record speed and a record purse for winner A.J. Foyt of Houston, Texas. A Russian student named Valeri Brumel was track and field spaceman. During a U.S. visit, he lifted the world indoor high jump mark to 7 feet 3.5 inches, and the Russians claim he later leaped higher than 7'4". Wilma Rudolph gave Uncle Sam cause for pride. The only competitor to win 3 Olympic gold medals, Lightning Wilma set new world's records on the boards in 1961. Later, competing outdoors in Germany, she lowered her 100 meters record to 11 2/10 seconds, an amazing performance. Another Olympic champion, Ralph Boston, set a world indoor broad jump record of 26 feet 6.25 inches. Outdoors, he recorded an astounding 27 feet 1 3/4, and he did that in Moscow. Surpassing Don Bragg's world record, an Oklahoma State pole vaulter soared 15 feet 10.25 inches. His name, George Davies. At the National AAU Championships, Frank Budd, furthest from the camera, cut the 100-yard record to 9 2/10. An incredible new low for the 100. The golf world thrilled to the performance of an invader from South Africa, Gary Player, who wrapped up the Masters at Augusta, Georgia, after a tingling duel with defending champion Arnold Palmer. Player was 61's golfing sensation. At Detroit, the big last round of the U.S. Open saw Gene Littler close with a 68 for a 281 score, putting him atop the golfing world. But none would deny Little Jerry Barber his place on the fairways. In the PGA at Chicago, a sensational sequence of putts on the last 3 holes lifted him from 4 strokes down to a tie at the completion of the regulation 72 holes. And in the playoff, the 45-year-old wizard became king of the pros. In the turf world, the Kentucky Derby, which featured the horse with the big heart and the big finishing run. Carryback on the outside, coming on like the wind with Johnny Sellers up. Carryback caught Crozier with scant yards to go, winning the Derby by 3 parts of a length. Carryback earned the roses, but the honors for Horse of the Year again went to the speedster named Kelso. This was the $106,000 Jockey Gold Cup in New York, where Eddie Arcaro let him run his own race, and Kelso enjoyed making it look easy. Despite a surprise defeat in the Laurel International, Kelso was acclaimed the top horse. Baseball this past year saw manager Ralph Houk's M-Boys, Mickey Mantel and Roger Maris, lift the sport to a new peak of excitement. Kids from 6 to 60 thrilled to the personal home run duel of the Yankee sluggers. Maris led the assault on the immortal Babe Ruth's record of 60 home runs in a season. Mantel, with power from either side of the plate, stayed right with Maris. He connected for a total of 54 round trippers before injuries put him out of the competition for Ruth's record. In 1927, the Babe hit 60 home runs in 154 games. Maris hit his 60th in game 158 of the modern expanded season, his 61st in the 162nd game final of the season. 61 homers for Roger Maris, appropriately named Athlete of the Year. Yankee pitcher Whitey Ford erased another old Ruth record of 29 2/3 World Series shutout innings. With 2 shutouts over Pittsburgh the year before, Ford lifted his total to 32 consecutive scoreless innings against the Cincinnati Reds, whom the Yanks beat in the World Series. Football produced All-America stars of unusual ability. This was the rough, tough Bob Ferguson in action against Michigan. The 6'2", 220-pound Ohio State fullback rushed for 2,162 yards in his 3 years at State. Coach Woody Hayes of the Buckeyes called Ferguson the best fullback I ever coached. He has a great future in the pros. Also headed for professional ball is Ernie Davis, great Syracuse halfback and Heisman Trophy winner. Hard-running Davis helped make 1961 an outstanding year in sports.